Well, you don't have to transform your home into a solar-powered hub to save yourself from rolling blackouts, but that'll cost you a small fortune. Instead, there are cheaper ways to conserve power when the Eskom curse hits. UPS units or uninterrupted power source boxes are very popular right now, and they can keep your Wi-Fi router on when all else fails and can cost anything from R1,000 up. Well, to get the lowdown on more power hacks, we've got Stuff editor and publisher Toby Shapshak live with us now. Toby, thanks for always rescuing us when we have technical issues. You swear by UPS unit. What actually is it? Is that an inverter? Is it the same thing?
So, an uninterrupted power supply is what the industry calls exactly what it is, an uninterrupted power supply. So generally, these are small boxes or bigger boxes, depending on what you need, that have two things inside them. One is an inverter, which is kind of the brains, and the other is a battery. So you can get lots of these solutions all over the place, and it's fantastic. And the kind of costs involved are coming down significantly. It depends what you need for your house. So the first thing you need to do is just evaluate what power you need and what things need to be online. So for most people, it's internet, it's a DSTV decoder, it's a new television. These kind of battery solutions are not good for very intense power using utilities like the geyser or an oven or a pool pump or a borehole. So those kinds of things don't really work. You could get a very smart system for about 1,000 watts, which is 1 kilowatts. So let's put it like this way: the inverter is 1,000 watts, and you can get 2.4 kilowatts of storage for about 15,000 rand, and that's enough to run a TV, a Wi-Fi, laptop, your PC, your lights. Obviously, not irrigation or geyser or fridge or those kinds of things. But that's the kind of solution. And whenever I get asked these questions, I check the people who did our solar installation, the guy Chris Liebenberg from Elite Energy Solutions, eliteenergy.co.za, and they have a very comprehensive list of all of the products in your house and what you would use and how much they use. I remember the first time someone said to me, you can't use your kettle, it takes 2 kilowatts. I have no idea what that meant. I mean, I know it's 2,000 watts, but I watched the batteries in our house and it used 2% of the batteries that night to boil a kettle. So you just change your behavior. You do things. If you have a solar system, you all your heavy usage things. You wash your clothes, your dishes. If you have a dishwasher, you do that during the day when you're putting straight off the solar panel. The energy is effectively free. We have a gas stove, so we've started using the gas kettle instead of the electric kettle. We've unplugged the electric kettle, especially during load shedding stage 4, where you don't really know when power is going to come back. But you can get other things like a generator. A good generator costs about 5,000 rand. I don't speak maths as a first language, eNCA, so I calculated this when it wasn't 20 rand a litre, and it was about 120 rand an hour, I think, or 2 or 3 hours to run a generator. But it's expensive, and if you don't have a generator configured on your home network, and that's the other thing most people don't realize, if you want to go solar, if you want to use a generator, you need to change your light bulbs. The light bulbs, the incandescent light bulbs, the old-fashioned light bulbs that got hot, those are big power generators. So you need to put in LED lights to configure which parts of your house you need on the inverter or the backup system, things that you don't. So for instance, when Elite Energy sets up our system, we're about 80% off the grid. Our pool, our geyser, the oven, none of those are on the backup system. Those go directly to the grid. And then you have to configure that you use the least amount of power. Lights, of course, the geyser. So those are on a separate circuit. If we want to switch over to the generator, which we bought 4.5 years ago when our son was being born, there's a whole different system for that. But the problem for a lot of people is the generator is instant on. And I say to people, buy an extension cord, multi-plug, run a cable through the window, plug it in, and off you go. But
Okay.
what do? You want to put the generator outside of the house. It can get rained on. You need to buy a cover. You can't buy a cover that's
Toby,
plastic because it melts.
your advice is so valuable. We've run out of time. Thanks so much for all that advice. I'm going to go home and see what I can sort out as soon as possible with your help. Thank you, Toby Shapshak, editor of Stuff, with some life hacks on how to deal with these running blackouts.